Kawhi Leonard's story is one of the most unusual and disciplined journeys in modern basketball history. In an era built around constant media attention, flashy personalities, and non-stop social media presence, Kawhi Leonard became a superstar by doing the exact opposite. He rarely speaks. He avoids unnecessary attention. He almost never chases headlines. Yet despite his quiet personality, his impact on basketball has been massive. Every time he steps on the court healthy, the game changes. Defenders become cautious. Offensive players become uncomfortable. And entire teams suddenly struggle to score efficiently because Kawhi Leonard controls the game with calm precision, elite intelligence, and relentless discipline. What makes Kawhi fascinating is not just his talent, but the way he built it. He was never viewed as a guaranteed superstar early in life. He was not considered the most explosive athlete or the most polished scorer growing up. Instead, his rise was built on work ethic, patience, and gradual development. Every year, he added something new to his game. Every season, he became more efficient, more composed, and more dangerous. Over time, that quiet improvement transformed him into one of the greatest two-way players basketball has ever seen. Born on June 29, 1991, in Los Angeles, California, Kawhi Anthony Leonard grew up in Riverside, where family played a major role in shaping his personality and mindset. He was the youngest of 5 children and developed a strong work ethic early in life. His father, Mark Leonard, owned a car wash business and encouraged discipline, responsibility, and focus. Kawhi often helped at the family business while balancing school and basketball. But tragedy struck when Kawhi was still a teenager. In 2008, his father was tragically shot and killed. The loss deeply affected Kawhi and his family. For many young athletes, an event like that could completely derail development and focus. Instead, Kawhi responded by becoming even more disciplined and emotionally reserved. Basketball became an outlet, a structure, and a source of purpose during one of the most painful periods of his life. Even during high school, Kawhi's personality stood out. He was quiet, serious, and focused almost entirely on improvement. At Martin Luther King High School in Riverside, he developed into one of California's best basketball players. Coaches noticed his massive hands, defensive instincts, rebounding ability, and physical strength. While his offensive game was still developing, his effort and competitiveness separated him from many other prospects. Unlike players obsessed with highlights, Kawhi focused on fundamentals: defense, positioning, footwork, timing, rebounding, winning plays. Those habits would later define his NBA career. After high school, Kawhi committed to San Diego State University, where his development accelerated dramatically. Under coach Steve Fisher, he became one of the best players in college basketball. His rebounding dominance, defensive intensity, and improving offensive game turned San Diego State into a nationally respected program. What stood out most during his college years was his physical control. Kawhi already looked stronger than most players his age. He absorbed contact easily, defended multiple positions, and competed with relentless effort. By the time he entered the NBA draft in 2011, scouts viewed him as an elite defensive prospect with growing offensive potential. The Indiana Pacers selected him with the 15th overall pick before immediately trading him to the San Antonio Spurs. That trade changed basketball history. Under legendary coach Greg Popovich and alongside veterans like Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Manu Ginobili, Kawhi entered one of the NBA's most disciplined environments. The Spurs focused heavily on fundamentals, team basketball, patience, and defensive responsibility, a perfect fit for Leonard's personality and mindset. Early in his NBA career, Kawhi earned recognition primarily for defense. He guarded elite scorers with incredible discipline and quickly became one of basketball's best perimeter defenders. His massive hands, strength, anticipation, and calm focus made him terrifying defensively. Opponents struggled to create space against him. But what made Kawhi truly special was how rapidly his offensive game improved. Every season, he added new skills. First came improved shooting, then better ball handling, then mid-range scoring, then playmaking, then isolation offense. Gradually, Kawhi transformed from a defensive specialist into a complete superstar. The breakthrough came during the 2014 NBA Finals. Facing the Miami Heat dynasty led by LeBron James, Kawhi delivered a remarkable performance on basketball's biggest stage. His defense against LeBron combined with efficient scoring helped the Spurs win the championship. Leonard was named Finals MVP at just 22 years old. That moment announced his arrival to the basketball world. But Kawhi was only getting started. Over the next several seasons, he became one of the NBA's most dominant two-way players. Multiple Defensive Player of the Year awards followed, along with All-Star selections and All-NBA honors. His offensive game became nearly unstoppable at times. His mid-range efficiency, strength, patience, and shot-making ability made him one of the league's most reliable playoff performers. Then came one of the most controversial periods of his career. In 2017 and 2018, Kawhi dealt with serious injuries and growing tension with the Spurs organization regarding medical management and recovery timelines. The situation created enormous media speculation because Leonard remained extremely private throughout the process. Eventually, his relationship with San Antonio ended. The Spurs traded him to the Toronto Raptors in 2018. At the time, many questioned whether Kawhi would even stay in Toronto long-term. But what happened next became legendary. During the 2018 to 2019 season, Leonard delivered one of the greatest playoff runs in NBA history. He dominated offensively and defensively throughout the postseason, carrying the Raptors to their first NBA championship. His game-winning buzzer beater against the Philadelphia 76ers became one of the most iconic shots basketball has ever seen. In the finals, Toronto defeated the Golden State Warriors dynasty, and Kawhi earned his second Finals MVP award with a second franchise. That achievement placed him in extremely rare company. Few players in NBA history have led multiple franchises to championships while winning Finals MVP both times. Financially, Kawhi Leonard has built enormous wealth throughout his career. By 2026, his estimated net worth is believed to range between $110 million and $150 million. His wealth comes from NBA contracts, endorsement partnerships, sponsorships, investments, and business opportunities. Unlike many modern superstars, Kawhi approaches business quietly and strategically. He signed major endorsement deals with brands including New Balance, helping elevate the company's basketball presence significantly. His signature shoe line became highly successful because of his unique image: calm, focused, mysterious, and elite. His NBA contracts have also been massive. Multiple max-level deals throughout his career positioned him among basketball's highest-paid players. Yet despite financial success, Kawhi maintains one of the most private lifestyles in sports. He rarely shows off wealth publicly. He avoids unnecessary celebrity culture. He keeps his personal life extremely protected. This privacy has only increased public fascination with him. While many athletes constantly share their lives online, Kawhi allows his basketball to speak for itself. Teammates and coaches consistently describe him as disciplined, detail-oriented, and incredibly focused on preparation. His daily routine centers heavily around recovery and conditioning. Injuries have become one of the biggest challenges of his career, particularly later in his prime. Managing knee health, recovery schedules, and physical workload became essential to extending his longevity. Even with injuries limiting parts of his career, Kawhi's impact whenever healthy remains undeniable. Few players in NBA history combine elite perimeter defense, championship-level scoring, playoff dominance, mid-range efficiency, strength, composure, basketball intelligence. Like Kawhi Leonard, his playoff reputation especially stands out. When healthy, he consistently elevates his game during the postseason. His calm demeanor never changes regardless of pressure. Whether facing elimination games, hostile crowds, or championship moments, Kawhi rarely appears emotionally affected. That emotional control became one of his defining characteristics. Off the court, Kawhi has also contributed to charitable causes and community work, though he often does so quietly without seeking attention. His actions reflect the same personality traits that define his career: focused, private, and purposeful. From Riverside teenager overcoming tragedy, to San Diego State standout, to Spurs champion, to Toronto legend, to global NBA superstar, Kawhi Leonard's journey has been built differently from most athletes. He never relied on loud branding or nonstop attention. He built greatness slowly, quietly, methodically, and in doing so, he became one of basketball's most respected players. His story proves that dominance does not always need noise. Sometimes greatness speaks through consistency, discipline, preparation, and performance. And few players in basketball history embody those qualities more completely than Kawhi Leonard. Thank you for watching this deep dive into Kawhi Leonard's personal life, NBA journey, championships, net worth, private lifestyle, and basketball legacy. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more in-depth athlete stories, basketball legends, and sports business content.